Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I want to talk today about competitive practice. So in previous videos we've talked about the concept of one ball practice, where your attention is so strongly on what it is that you want to do. So there's no randomness in your training. Randomness of thought or randomness of intention. You have a plan, you're working on perhaps something technical, but you're doing it as if you've only got one ball to practice with. In another video, we talked about the idea of adding variety, because we're looking to take what we have in practice onto the golf course. And so by changing club, shot shape, target, the lie that the ball's sitting on, all sorts of different things, creates a challenge to you to recalibrate and reset yourself for each of those things. Yeah, it's a lot harder than just hitting one club with a pile of balls in front of you, but it's also much more like what happens on the golf course. There's a third element about taking your practice form to the golf course, and that's to start to try and introduce an element of pressure. And you do that through competitive practice. Now that could be by playing a game with another person and you're hitting towards a target and you hit 5 shots and you say, well, you know, who hits the closest shot? We're going to hit 5 of them, and whoever gets the most out of 5 wins. If you're doing something by yourself, then you could set up any sort of drill, whether it's a full swing drill, and I might have, say, a couple of trees or targets down the range there, and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to use I've got a 6-iron in my hand, so I'm going to use my 6-iron, I'm going to hit 10 balls, I'm going to see how many out of those 10 I can have finish in line with or between the 2 trees or 2 posts down the range there. And it might be that today I get 3. So the next time I come out, it's like, okay, I know my personal best for that one was 3. Let's see if I can push it up a little bit higher. The other thing is that the recognition that I only got 3 out of 10 means that when I'm thinking about how I'm swinging the club, or when I'm next with my coach, I've been pretty disappointed with only getting 3 out of 10. So is there something that's happening technically that's preventing me from getting a higher score? So you see, your attention's got to be more, you're thinking about your practice, you're thinking about what's working, what's not working. Now another element to this competitive practice is treat it like you would on the golf course. So when you're going through and playing those 10 shots, do it with your full shot routine, exactly as you would on the golf course. Sure, it takes a lot longer to go through and hit those 10 shots, but it's reproducing what you're going to do on the golf course. So when you get to the course, you're not doing something that's completely alien to what you've been doing in practice. So hit those 10 shots, go through your full shot routine, record your score, because the competitor in you is going to want to improve that score next time. If you do improve your score next time, if you get to 5, for example, you may only have got 50%. You've improved what you did quite substantially, and now there's some excitement, there's some satisfaction in doing that. But you also still have the challenge of knowing that you could get 5 more out of 10, get 10 out of 10. Now, that may be unrealistic for you, but it's possible. And so you'll keep working through that. So that's just one element, and I was just talking about hitting a 6-iron. Set your target widths according to your own skill level. So don't set something that's too hard for you. But then again, don't set something that's too easy, because you'll achieve a perfect score, but it hasn't been much of a challenge for you. And then the change on the golf course is going to be too great. You can do the same thing with chipping. Set some tees, or measure the distance from the hole that those golf balls are finishing, whether it's a club length or something like that, which is, you know, roughly a yard, a meter. And then count again, how many out of 10 did I get today with my club from here? You can increase that challenge, and one of my favorite drills is to get a number of balls, let's say it's 9, and then distribute them all around a chipping green, some of them in the bunker, some of them in long grass, some of them fairly standard chips, some of them where I have to lob it. So I might have 9 completely different shots, and again, I'm counting how many of those 9 shots finish inside, you know, 1, 1.5 or 2 club lengths according to your current standard of play. Then I can also see a pattern over time of which shots challenge me the most, which ones are easiest. And again, from a strategic thinking perspective on the golf course, it's so much easier to use those shots that you know that you tend to play well. And in making that choice, you make it knowing that they're the ones that are easiest for you, and that will help to build your confidence when you're playing. So setting competitive drills creates a much more game-like atmosphere. It's the most challenging form of practice, but it's also the one that replicates what you do on the golf course the most, and it's the one that's going to lead to the best chance of transfer from the practice environment to the golf course. So do all those 3 practices. The first practice is treating everything as one ball. Your attention's completely on whatever you're doing. In fact, you can apply that to any form of practice. The second is building variety into your practice, and the third one is adding competitive elements. If you work with all of those 3 elements at least weekly, if not every practice session, then you'll find that you'll get so much more satisfaction and result in transferring what you do here out onto the golf course.